On August 25, 1914, the German army launched a devastating assault on the Belgian city of Leuven, resulting in the systematic destruction of the entire city center. The fire consumed over 2,000 buildings, and tragically claimed the lives of 248 citizens. The German First Army had initially occupied Leuven without encountering any resistance on August 19, 1914, as part of the early stages of what would later be known as the First World War. However, around 8 p.m. on August 25, sporadic rifle fire erupted on the city streets. The exact cause that triggered the initial shots remains unknown to this day. German claims that Belgian franc-tireurs, or irregular militiamen, had initiated the gunfire are highly improbable, given the lack of substantiated evidence regarding organized guerrilla activity in Belgium during 1914. In fact, the Belgian government had made significant efforts to caution the citizens of Leuven against provoking German reprisals through acts of resistance. It is more plausible that retreating elements of the German First Army momentarily pushed back into the town by a counterattack from the Belgian 6th Division on the evening of the 25th, were misidentified by anxious sentries. This misidentification likely resulted in a confused and escalating exchange of friendly fire. On August 25, 1914, the German army launched a devastating assault on the Belgian city of Leuven, resulting in the systematic destruction of virtually the entire city center by the German occupying forces. The fire engulfed more than 2,000 buildings, and tragically, it claimed the lives of 248 citizens. Initially, the German First Army had occupied Leuven without encountering any resistance on August 19, 1914, as part of the early stages of what would later be known as the First World War. However, around 8 p.m. on August 25, sporadic rifle fire broke out on the city streets. The exact cause that provoked the initial shots remains unknown, and subsequent German claims that Belgian franc-tireurs, or irregular militiamen, had initiated the gunfire are highly improbable due to the lack of successful substantiation regarding organized guerrilla activity in Belgium in 1914. In fact, the Belgian government had made significant efforts to warn the citizens of Leuven against provoking German reprisals through acts of resistance. It is more likely that retreating elements of the German First Army temporarily pushed back into the town by a counterattack from the Belgian 6th Division on the evening of the 25th, were misidentified by nervous sentries. This misidentification likely triggered a confused and escalating exchange of friendly fire. The tragic consequences of the German assault included many of the killed citizens being randomly dumped in ditches and construction trenches. Additionally, the mayor of the city and the rector of the university were summarily executed, further adding to the horror of the events. At approximately 11:30 p.m., German soldiers forcibly entered the university's library, which was housed in the 14th century cloth hole. The library held invaluable special collections, including medieval manuscripts and books. The soldiers set fire to the library, and within a span of 10 hours, the entire collection was completely destroyed. The fire continued to rage for several days, exacerbating the devastation. The rector of the American College of Leuven was fortunate enough to be rescued by Brand Whitlock, the U.S. ambassador, who documented the rector's harrowing account of the murder, the lust, the loot, the fires, the pillage, the evacuation, and the destruction of the city. The deliberate incineration of the library's incunabula, or early printed books, was particularly distressing. As a result of the burning of the University of Leuven's library, more than 230,000 books were lost, including 750 medieval manuscripts. Personal libraries and the records of notaries, solicitors, judges, professors, and physicians were also consumed by the flames, adding to the irreparable loss. Acts of violence and brutality persisted throughout the following night and day. The German army further intensified the suffering by bombarding the town with 5 shells on the subsequent day. The town was subjected to widespread pillaging, with numerous German officers and soldiers engaging in mass looting of money, wine, silver, and other valuable objects. Those who resisted or did not comply were met with violence and even death. Despite the widespread destruction inflicted upon the city, the town hall was spared due to its use as the German headquarters. However, the devastating events resulted in the loss of 248 civilian lives, and the majority of Louvain's 42,000 residents were forcibly expelled from the city and compelled to seek refuge in the countryside. Some individuals were even taken from their homes at gunpoint. Shockingly, around 1,500 townspeople, including women, children, and 4 hostages, were deported to Germany in deplorable conditions, confined within railway cattle wagons. The German atrocities committed in Louvain, along with the cultural destruction, triggered global outrage and had severe repercussions for Germany's reputation, particularly in neutral countries. British Prime Minister H.H. Asquith expressed his condemnation, describing the burning of Louvain as the most heinous act the Germans had committed thus far. He likened it to the atrocities perpetrated during the 30 Years' War by military commanders Tilly and Wallenstein. Irish nationalists, led by John Redmond, also denounced the German atrocities, while intellectuals and journalists in Italy expressed their condemnation. These events contributed to Italy's growing disassociation from Germany and Austria, pushing the country closer to the Allies. The Daily Mail even referred to the events as the Holocaust of Louvain, emphasizing the magnitude of the destruction and loss.